Hey there, Patriots. It's Praying Medic. It is Tuesday, May 15th, and this is my daily QAnon update. Semi-daily. If Q takes a day or two off, then I get to have a day or two off. But Q has been busy lately. For those of you who are new, Q posts can be found on qanon.pub. There are also a number of other sites where you can check out Q posts and investigate for yourself, which I would highly recommend doing. I'm here to give you some help, but I'm really here to teach you how to decode Q for yourself and learn what Q is saying. My theme for this series is pain coming. Q posted this, and let me click on this. It's a collection of tweets. It's a tweet there on the right from Mike Flynn Jr. Also, a little bit of a clip from the Breitbart article about Eric Prince and what he knew about the Anthony Weiner laptop, and then there's some old Q posts. And Q is trying to tie all these things together, and I'm just going to walk you through all this and explain it the best that I can. So Q says down at the bottom below, who knows where the bodies are buried? Reread drops regarding who knows where. Rudy, now comes the pain. Q. All right, so here's a better image you can see. So on the left, upper left here, like I said, this is just a screenshot of part of the article. It was published in Breitbart. It talks about Eric Prince and what he knew about the insurance file on Anthony Weiner's laptop, which most of us believe has some very damning evidence on it. We believe it's a lot of, well, probably video that is used to blackmail people. So we're going to see where that goes. That's what this whole thing is about. So up there, upper right, there's an old Q post from April 8th, and top line is pictures leaked for this very moment. These are pictures of John McCain in Syria, and Q asked who or what is not pictured. Next line is what forces shadowed no-name contractors, special contractors, what was delivered, smiles. Well, I've taken a couple of guesses at this, and we kind of thought maybe it was Eric Prince and maybe it was those are the contractors who shadowed no name. I thought maybe it was weapons contractors, but I think we're now getting confirmation that this was actually Eric Prince and a few other people who were shadowing McCain, eavesdropping on what he was doing. All right, so down here there is another post, and it's a Politico article talking about Eric Prince being a CIA asset. Now, a lot of people have had problems with Prince because, you know, he was CIA, he must be a clown. Well, Q said, think double. I'm thinking it's double agent. And I believe Prince was inside the CIA getting information that he would bring out of the CIA to help the president. And Q says, why are we confirming this publicly? Why now? And I believe this because all of this information that Eric Prince has about the insurance file and McCain and everything else going on, it's all going to come out. Down here on the lower portion, Q posted, this is November 24th, Betsy DeVos, Eric Prince, POTUS, right? So DeVos is the Secretary of Education, and Eric Prince is her brother, brother-in-law, I think. And the president trusts Eric Prince. On top of this post here, the first line, who knows where the bodies are buried? Okay, reread. The map is in front of you. Reread, expand your thinking. Purpose for time being spent here. So just connecting some dots. And then you have, let's see, do we have that tweet from Mike Flynn? It just says, what does Eric Prince know about the actual content of Anthony Weiner's laptop? I've heard it's damning. Let Eric speak. So Mike Flynn Jr. probably has some inside scoop on what is on Anthony Weiner's laptop that has been held in evidence. I believe in NYPD, I think, has a copy of it, and I believe the FBI has a copy of it. That's my understanding. I could be wrong. Speaking of wrong, let me clarify something from yesterday. I had a a firefighter from Michigan contact me, and he said they had a Quint fire engine from his fire department in Michigan, and the number on the side of the door was Q. And I was not trying to imply that it could not be possible to have a Q on the door of an engine. My point was it is very, very rare to see a Q on a door. And so I got confirmation from a couple of guys that, yeah, sometimes they do put Q on fireground apparatus. All right, I stand corrected. Moving along. The left, the mainstream media, doesn't like Prince. They don't trust him. And if they hate him and Trump likes him, that makes Prince a good guy in my book. All right. And then this is Mike Flynn Jr.'s tweet. All right. So Q posted this, and it is a repost of a previous, let me actually do this. Your Rudy, New York City, relationships high, insurance file in quotes. Quiet until now, join POTUS legal team, direct discussions available, brackets now with Mueller. Enjoy the show. They never thought she would lose. Careless Q. So this was from April 19th, almost a month ago. And that was when Rudy Giuliani suddenly came on and officially said he was joining Trump's legal team. I think the capacity that Rudy is going to play is not as Trump's defense attorney. He is doing something else. He has been quiet for a reason. He is well connected in New York as a former mayor and a prosecutor. And he is one of the guys who knows where the bodies are buried. He knows people's secrets, and he's got a lot of connections. He knows about the insurance file. So why is Rudy having discussions with Mueller? Well, someone's going to get prosecuted, but it's not the president. All right, and Anand said this, the stuff about the NYPD isn't just coming out. Heard about that during the campaign, but maybe the public wasn't ready for it yet. No one wanted to believe it then. And Q said, find the 2 NYPD detectives, 187. That's California Penal Code for murder. So they were detectives who were murdered middle of the year 2017. Did they view the insurance file? Threats are real. This is not a game. Q. Okay, so I believe this is probably one of them. Detective Myosotis Famia. She was actually ambushed in her police cruiser. She was shot in the head by an assailant who fled the scene and then who was then shot by another police officer. She died July 5th, 2017, so she fits the criteria. Q was looking for someone who died mid-year and who worked for NYPD. She was really the only, I looked on the NYPD downed officer line of duty death website. She was the only one I could find that fit the criteria that Q was looking for. Q posted this. This is actually one of the most recent posts. Why was Preet Bharara fired? Bharara was replaced as U.S. attorney with a lot of other U.S. attorneys when Jeff Sessions took over the DOJ. I'm assuming he was fired because there was something wrong with him. He was crooked. And then Q asked, why was the New York Attorney General just removed? Schneiderman. Well, because he's crooked too. Actually, it looks like Allison Mack may have rolled over on him. That's kind of what Q is suggesting. You'll see that in here in just a minute. Why did Rudy Giuliani recently join POTUS's legal team after being quiet for so long? What must be cleaned first? Who investigates? Who prosecutes? What can finally be done? Who has the ultimate authority? Does it fall under the Russia recusal? Does Flynn know? Define on the record. You have more than you know. Enjoy the show. Q. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of going along with what we've been talking about. I believe Rudy is on the team because he's going to help prosecute. You have to get the U.S. Attorney's Office and the Attorney General's courts and investigative agencies cleaned up first, because FBI or local police departments do the investigation. DOJ, U.S. Attorney's Office, and local judges and attorneys prosecute. So that has to be cleaned up. Who has the ultimate authority? Sessions. This does not fall under the Russia recusal, so Sessions is in full control. Does Flynn know? Of course Flynn knows. Q told us. Flynn knows where the bodies are buried. Flynn knows everything. he was at the top of the intelligence food chain. Probably still is. Define on the record. Well, when you testify, you get your statements on the record. So I believe General Flynn has already testified. And some of his testimony will be used against the criminals in a court of law. That's my assumption. All right, Q posted this. I'll read it. Pound sign 1776. That whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed in light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. There's a link to a SoundCloud. It is the interview with Eric Prince. It's a Breitbart interview. And then at the bottom it is signed, reverse brackets, Sessions, we fight, Q. Folks, we are in the middle of a second revolution. And that is not hyperbole. That is not a joke. And this is not a game. Our government has been taken over by criminals, and we nearly lost our republic. The men and women that are fighting to restore it, we are in the middle of a second revolution. We're going to hopefully make it a bloodless revolution, as bloodless as possible. But we are in the middle of a second revolution, make no mistake about it. Inverse brackets on Sessions, I like that. Back in February, Q was posting the brackets, and sometimes it'd have a plus sign inside. And one of the Anons said, hey, Q, need a hint on the brackets, please. It's been driving me nuts. And one of the Anons said, hey, it's a military target square. And Q said, kill box. All right. So if the brackets is a kill box, then what is Sessions outside the brackets mean? And as a reverse kill box, it means he's going to go hunting. That's what that means. It is justice time. All right. Q posted this. Allison Mack, Nexium cult, arrested. What was the date? When does a bird sing? Schneiderman resigns. What was the date? Coincidence? Eyes wide open. Who will be next? Watch New York City. Watch California. Q. All right. Well, one of the Anons did a nice job of putting this together and didn't want to waste it. So Allison Mack was arrested on April 20th. When does the bird sing? According to Maya Angelou, when it's in a cage. When it's in jail. That's when they testify and they cooperate with investigators if they want to get a light sentence. Schneiderman resigned on May 7th. Delta, or a difference of 17 days. Coincidence? Number 17. Q is the 17th letter of the alphabet. Anon says, no coincidence. Eyes wide open. We're trying. Who will be next? Can't wait to see. Hopefully Adam Schiff. Q had actually mentioned previously when Allison Mack was arrested, he said, hey, Adam Schiff, are you feeling okay today? So I think Allison Mack is going to end up rolling over on Schiff too. Watch New York. De Blasio. Who knows? Somebody in New York is going down. Maybe a few people. Let's see. I just wanted to bring this up to you, and this isn't something Q posted recently, but the night of Allison Mack's arrest, Q posted this. This was on the 20th. Mack is naming names, big names in Hollywood and government, local and federal. Proof. Standard Hotel, helicopter crash, AS. Feeling okay today? Right. So on the 20th April, Q knew Mack was naming names. Now, how did Q know that? Nobody else knew it. This is a search of Allison Mack makes a plea deal, and all of the stories about Allison Mack making a plea deal came after the 23rd of April. Some on the 24th, some on the 23rd. There is nothing reported on Allison Mack except that she was arrested between the 20th and the 22nd. Only on the 23rd did they start reporting that they make public that there was going to be a plea deal. All right, but Q knew that on the 20th. How did Q know what nobody else knew? Q has claimed to be someone inside the intelligence community who has access to that stuff. There is no way Q would have known that Mack was naming names, trying to get a plea deal 3 or 4 days before everyone else knew it, unless Q was an insider. Okay, moving along. Last night, Roseanne tweeted yesterday's video, and one of the Anons saw it. It kind of made a big stir on Twitter, I guess. I don't know, because Roseanne had me blocked. I mean, people were telling me about it. I couldn't see it. So one of the Anons said, LOL, my PayPal account, Patreon, support me. Someone should tell Roseanne she's promoting a patriot, P-A-Y, patriot, someone who's in it for the money. All right, one of the Anons responded this way: I don't think it would be fair to say that a journalist can't make money when covering Q, but that's the difference. A journalist covering Q isn't necessarily usurping Q. The patriots in question were trying to usurp Q. This video explains what happened very well. It certainly cleared my head about it all, and there's a link to a YouTube video, and you can go get that. If you just jump on the Q website and find this post, you can check out the video. Q then reposted that post confirming that yes, that is true, and another Anon chimed in. This is exactly the difference. A patriot has the right to survive. The subversion of our movement is a different story. I don't know about you, but I am ready to put that chapter behind us. All right. Q posted this: pain coming. The pain is coming. All right. Some people have been giving me a hard time about my dreams that I talk about. Some people appreciate them, and I do have some intercessor groups who are using my videos as a way to know that they're over the target for prayer. I tell them about my dreams. Sometimes they share their dreams. We're collectively getting some information, strategic information about the mission, and it helps intercessors pray. Nevertheless, some people do not get what these dreams are all about. So I'm going to say this hopefully one time, and I won't have to say it again. Q came to 4chan and then went to 8chan to drop crumbs. Hints, clues for us to research. His crumbs are based on personal knowledge that he has. His crumbs reveal what he knows. Now it's my turn to drop some crumbs, some hints and clues. Q has often asked us to pray. When Q says, as the world turns, are world events random, or are they planned? And if they're planned, whose will do they go according to? Is there a sovereign God, or is it random? What's our part? Our part is to pray. How do we pray? Define prophet. God said to Jeremiah, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I sanctified you, set you apart. I ordained you to be a prophet to the nations. Define commission. The Lord told Jeremiah, for you shall go to all whom I send you, and whatever I command you, you shall speak. Do not be afraid of their faces, for I am with you to deliver you, says the Lord. Define instruction. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, Jeremiah, what do you see? And I said, I see a branch of an almond tree. And the Lord said, you have seen well, for I am ready to perform my word. The word of the Lord came to me a second time, saying, What do you see? And I said, I see a boiling pot, and it's facing away from the north. Then the Lord said to me, Out of the north calamity shall break forth on all the inhabitants of the land. Define dream. This is from Job chapter 33. God speaks again and again, though people do not recognize it. He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep falls upon people as they lie on their beds. He whispers in their ears and terrifies them with warnings. He makes them turn from doing wrong. Define responsibility. If I warn the wicked, saying, You are under the penalty of death, but you fail to deliver the warning, they will die in their sins, and I will hold you responsible for their deaths. This is not a game. The future of our nation is at stake. Good men and women are in a position to save us from disaster. They know their part. Do you know yours? Battle stations. Do we fight against flesh and blood? What does Ephesians 6 say? Is it spiritual warfare? Eyes on. I know what my part is. My part is to hear what God is saying and convey it to you as faithfully as I can. My QD codes are not actually mine. I sit at my computer and I get quiet and I begin to think about the things that Q has posted, and these thoughts come into my mind. The same way thoughts come into your mind, except that I've known over the last, I don't know how many years, that a lot of those thoughts aren't actually my thoughts. They are the inspired thoughts of God. He is helping me put these pieces together. I just choose to recognize that it's Him instead of me. When I make mistakes, those are my mistakes, not God's. You might pray for me to hear more accurately. God also speaks to me through dreams and visions, and last night I had one of the most significant dreams yet. So in this dream last night, that kept me up most of the night, I saw the entire future mission of Q unrolled over the course of time. I saw the very end of Q's mission and everything in between. I saw what you are waiting to see. Would you like to know about it? As the justice phase commenced, one politician after another, one CEO, one corruptocrat after another, all had their crimes exposed and they were prosecuted. All of the disgusting secret details were made public. The humiliation was unbelievable, and the scale was unimaginable. And it went on, and I saw more people being prosecuted. And then at last, at the end of the dream, I saw Hillary in all of her corrupt ways, revealed for everyone to see. Deception, debauchery, greed, perversion, contempt, arrogance, manipulation. That's only a fraction of it. And you think you know about Hillary, you don't know a half of it. It's worse than you can imagine. And it is all going to be made public, along with everyone else who at that level has done things like that. So when Q says we have it all, he means all. And you are going to see very soon, up close and in person, what all means. Be careful what you wish for. It may not be as entertaining as you think it'll be. The removal of this disease from the fabric of our society will cause widespread, sweeping changes you probably haven't considered yet. And I would like to give you an example of one of them, and this was a dream I had 2 nights ago that I didn't tell you about yesterday. When corruption has been removed from government, what happens to the people who report on corruption? What happens to people who report on the deep state, the Illuminati, and all the crazy things that are going on? Does deep state no more equal InfoWars no more? Because there's no need? Where did Alex Jones go? In the dream, His show is gone. Delusion, prophecy, future will prove past. Q said this. What is Q clearance? What hint does that explicitly refer to? Department of Energy? Who would have the goods on uranium-1? Does stating Q refer that person works in Department of Energy? No. Does it refer that someone dropping such information has the highest level of security within all departments? Right. A lot of people have assumed that Q is a Department of Energy employee, and that is not the case. Q did not say that. So let me draw an analogy. Am I claiming to be a prophet? No. The examples I gave you are to illustrate how God speaks to all of us. My people perish for lack of knowledge. It's time for us to learn. It's time for us to all learn how to hear God's voice a little better, to learn how to pray a little better. Because our nation is going to need a lot of prayer in the next year to get through this. Q posted this. Autists, we thank you. Patriots, we thank you. We came here for a reason. Freedom of information. No filters. History books. Be proud. Together. Where we go one, we go all. Q. History books means all the things we're doing right now are going to be written in the history books in the future. We're going to be a part of it. Q posted this. Quote from Abraham Lincoln. We the people are the rightful masters of both Congress and the courts, not to overthrow the Constitution, but to overthrow the men who would pervert the Constitution. That is what we are looking at right now. Q posted this. They knew this day would come. Evil everywhere, corruption everywhere. We fight. We the people. Q. We either fight the corruption in government or we submit ourselves to tyranny. Those are the only choices. Q asked if we caught the mention of the police officer that he asked about early this morning in the president's message this afternoon. Did you catch it? Speech. What NYPD detectives were 187 murdered mid-2017? Officer Familia. Godspeed, Patriot. We will never forget. Q. All right. Here's the clip. I'll play this so you can listen to it.
I have directed the Justice Department to do everything in its power to defend the lives of American law enforcement. We are honored to be joined today by the family of Detective Miosaitis Familia. Detective Familia was a proud member of the New York Police Department. Where is that family? Where is that great family?
So Q mentions Officer Familia, the detective, and then the president mentions her in the same day. Coincidence? Anand caught this part of the president's speech. I have directed the Justice Department to do everything in its power to defend the lives of American law enforcement. Q said, do you trust POTUS? Does he trust Sessions to protect the lives of our brave law enforcement? Our country? Reconcile. Would Sessions be Attorney General still if he was a part of the deep state? Critical thinking dismisses fictional clickbait claims. So if you're listening to people who are still telling you that Sessions is out to get Trump, that he is asleep, that he's part of the deep state, you are listening to lies. If Trump said he's doing everything possible to protect our law enforcement officers, and Sessions could not be trusted, Sessions would have been gone a year ago. Use logic. Okay. Q posted a link to an article announcing that Preet Bharara is considering running for the New York Attorney General. Q said, time of publish, 4 a.m. Timing of drop? Coincidence? Fight to reinstall the roadblock? Here's a link to the article. Who is Richard Donahue? Background, Payne, Q. Q has previously told us that Preet Bharara and Schneiderman effectively formed a roadblock to the prosecution of the Clinton Foundation in New York. That's the jurisdiction. And are they trying to reinstall the roadblock because they don't want Hillary to get prosecuted? Can you just see Hillary and Bill telling Preet Bharara, the message goes out at 4 a.m., hey, you're running for Attorney General. Go make the announcement. Yes, so the article on Bloomberg went out at 4 a.m. Predictable. That's when they get their marching orders. One of the Anons said, it is apparent to us Anons the crimes that Preet is complicit in. I don't know how these people keep thrusting themselves into the spotlight when they are pure evil. Q posted this. It's a really good observation. What do you notice? They all drop hints that they're considering future elected positions. Hillary is actually now going around fundraising, telling people that she's going to be president. Yet. Once that Trump gets out of office, I'm still going to be president. Why? Why are they doing this? So they can claim interference? Ooh, you're arresting us and it's an attack on our party? Protection? Can you serve from jail? Q. They are going to be in jail very soon. Q asked, who is Richard Donahue? Background, Payne, Q. Donahue is currently U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of New York, former 82nd Airborne paratrooper, former U.S. Army JAG Corps, and former military magistrate judge. Donahue is one of our guys. That is why Sessions put him in Eastern District of New York, and they are trying to get rid of him and replace him with someone who's a little more friendly. Pain is coming for them, not for us. We've lived through our pain. Now it's their turn. All right, that is all I have for you for today. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the love. This is Praying Medic signing off. I will catch you on the next broadcast.